watch the videos later. All right, so let's continue. Now, Sprite also has the same can, this slim one. So we have the pictures we need for the design. Hope you guys are following so far. Hope you guys are following.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start downloading. So click on the sprites. We look for a nice the picture that has quality. That's because we have to maintain quality. So look for a picture that has quality. So that we download. Once we download it, we remove the background, the white background, and then we add it to our design. Okay, this one. First of all, download this one. Now, if you download the cans, and it has, if it has background, let's assume you're not using, if I'm using Canva Pro, so I can remove the background directly from the Canva. But if you are not using Canva Pro, we just head over to Google and you search for remove.bg. Remove.bg. This is the site you visit, remove.bg. Then you click on this upload image over here. You upload the picture you downloaded. Once you upload it, they are going to remove the background for you. Then you download the image that doesn't have that white background. So that's if you're not using Canva Pro. So I'm done with downloading the sprites. Let me download the code. So I want to go for look for the one that has a little bit quality. Okay, this one is okay. So I'll go ahead and download this one also. So I'm downloading the pictures. Once I'm done downloading the pictures, every other thing in the design is going to be straightforward. So we're not going to waste much time. After that, we animate the design. So the third one is the Fanta. So the same method, we look for a picture that has quality. And then we download it. When I say quality, I mean some pictures are blurry. So you have to look for something that is not blurry. Picture that is bright. So you shouldn't use pictures that are blurry. So once you are done downloading it, you head over to Canva. So we're back in Canva. You click upload files. At the left hand side, you click upload. Then you're going to select the images you downloaded. Remember, if it has background, you have to remove the background. You have to remove the background before uploading to Canva. And to do that, you use the website remove.bg. But if it doesn't have background, or if you're using Canva Pro, you can remove inside Canva also. Or if it doesn't have background, you can just upload directly. So I'm currently uploading the pictures. After that, we go straight to designing. If you have any questions so far, go ahead and ask your question so that I will know that everybody is following. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? If you're following so far, comment yes, I'm following. If you're following so far, comment yes, I'm following. Okay, Manuel is following. Who else is following? Can't see. What's the problem?
Yes.
What's the problem, Kamsi? Are you confused in any way? Okay, let me explain again. So what we are trying to do is, on this Canva, we have the picture of the can, the drink at the center part. We have the flavor behind the picture, the flavor of the drink, that's the name of the drink. So if we have Coke, we have Coke at the back. we have some write-ups about the drink, and then we'll add some elements on the background. Then we create a second page by clicking this button. We do the same thing for another drink, add the same write-ups. So first of all, we're going to Google to download the pictures we need. That's the different drinks we are using. So we download Sprite, Coke, and Fanta. And then once you are done downloading it, we head over to Canva. This left-hand side, you click upload and you click upload files, and then you import the pictures. These are the pictures I downloaded. You guys have seen it, right? So I downloaded the three images. That's Coke, Sprite, and Fanta. So I don't think you should have any problem at this level because we're just getting started. So we have Coke, Sprite, and Fanta. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add these pictures to. We're going to add 3 pictures to our white space, whiteboard, or whatever you call it. Now, if you add the pictures, make sure to just crop it out. Any extra space you have seen in between, you crop it out like this, so that you have the measurement you want. The Fanta, the same thing, you crop it out. Just make sure it doesn't have any spaces between. And remember to remove the background. I'm going to show you the reason you have to remove the background later, because this whiteboard, we're going to change the color of the whiteboard. So if your picture, let's say I change the color of the whiteboard to, let's say, red for the Coke. You see it has background. This Coke has background. This Fanta has background. So it's not going to work. But if I remove the background, it's going to blend in with the colors you use for the background. The background, that's this color here. So I'll go ahead and crop the extra spaces, and then I'll remove the background. Now I'm done with the cropping. Now make sure that the cans of the same size. The cans of the same size. And how you do that is, if you place, let's assume this is the size of this one and this one is small. If you place this one, can you see the line? Let me change this to white so you can see it properly. If you place it behind, if you place it under the Coke can, are you seeing that straight line? Once you see that straight line, you leave it and then you drag it from the top, and then you see a straight line at the top, just like this. You see a straight line at the top, and then you see a straight line at the bottom. That means it's the same size. Same goes with this one. You see a straight line at the bottom. You see a straight line at the top. So the 3 cans are now the same size. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the background. So first of all, click background remover, because I'm using Canva Pro. But like I said, if you're not using Canva Pro, you can just go ahead to remove.bg, which is this site, upload the pictures you downloaded that has background, click upload image. Once you click it, you add the image, then they will remove the background for you automatically. Then you go back to Canva and upload it by clicking the left-hand side. So I'll go ahead to remove the Coca-Cola and Fanta and Sprites. So I'm done with the Fanta. Next, the Sprites. So automatically I have the 3 cans with that background. The next thing I'm going to do is grouping. These 3 images, I'm going to group them together so that if I'm resizing it, if I'm increasing the size, 3 of them are going to be increasing together, just like this. So for the first image, we are going to do Coca-Cola first. We're going to do Coca-Cola first. But before we do the Coca-Cola, we need to center the like centering like this, and then we duplicate this page into 3 places. So I've placed this, I've increased the size like this. Then I'm using this particular size. It's okay for me. So I'll go ahead to duplicate the page into 3 places. To duplicate the page, at this down parts, you click these 3 dots at these down parts, these 3 dots, and then you click duplicate page. Do the same thing for the second page, duplicate page. So we have 3 pages. Now for this first page, you go to the first page, ungroup it. Once you ungroup it, you delete the Fanta, delete the sprites. So the first page is for the Coke alone. Now once you place the Coke, make sure it's centered to the page like this. Make sure it's centered to the page like this. Make sure it's centered to the page like this. The same goes to this page, ungroup, delete the Coke, leave the Fanta, delete the sprites. That's for the second page. For the third page, ungroup, delete the Fanta, the Coke, leaving only the sprites. So we have Fanta, Coke, Fanta, and sprites for the 3 pages. Hope you guys are following. Okay. Now what we are going to do is simple. We're going to start from the first page. So this is Coke, and the color of the Coke bottle is red. But we don't want the color of the can to clash with the background. So we're going to change this color. Now, if you click on the color, we click on add new color, this place. We're going to make this one lighter, a little bit lighter. So it's not going to be the same color exactly. It's not going to be that same red color. So we're going to make it lighter. We can also decide to make it a gradient color. Gradient color means something like this. And make it gradient color. Red and orange, or depending on what you want to do, you can make it gradient color. Let me go with this particular one. Now we have gradient color, red and orange for the Coke. For the Fanta, the same thing. Change the color to orange gradient. That's this one. I will use this one. Orange gradients. The reason we are doing it is just to maintain we want to have the background to look like this, but we don't want it to be too dark. We don't want it to fight the colors to fight with the can color. Same goes for the sprites. The sprite is green color, so we are going to use gradient that is like the sprite, but a little bit different. So we have this. Let me go ahead and crop this a little bit. Now, if you are designing this, you can also use ChatGPT to generate this image. If you want the image to be consistent, you can ask ChatGPT to generate a can Coke for you, can Fanta, and can Sprite. Using the same prompts, they're going to generate the same type of can so that everything looks the same. So now the next thing we're going to do is you're going to add, since you're done with the background colors, we're going to add an element. The element you're going to add is something like, I want to add something like a shape at these down parts. So we're going to add a shape to these down parts, something like a circle. So let's go ahead and search for circle. Let's see if you can get something to use. Circle. We just write circle up. But I don't want it to be like plain circle. I want it to be something that has texture. So let's go ahead and search for circle. My network is a little bit slow, so I have to. Can you guys hear me? Okay. The network is a little bit slow. Let's. All right, you guys can hear me. So the circle the circle I want to add, the reason I want to add the circle, let's just use the semicircle. You guys will get the points eventually. Now, if I add a semicircle over here, I'm going to drag it all the way to this place, just like this. And then I push it down. I want to make sure that the semicircle is touching these edges. It's touching these edges, but it's not going to come up too much. So let's say this level, and then I move it to the back of the can. Moving to the back of the can, you click on position, and then once you click on position, you click send backward, just like this, send backward. Now, once you send backward, you change the color of the shape. You change the color to let's change it to, yes, change the color to that particular red, this can color, that's the red color, so that the shape is going to look like this. So what I'm going to do is I'll click on the shape, I click Ctrl C to copy the shape, go to the factor page, paste it, same process. I click position, send it to the back, change the color to the orange, that's the original orange of the can. Same goes to the sprites. I paste it again, send it to the back, and change the color to the original color of the sprites. Let's go for the darker one. So we have Coke, Fanta, and sprites. Straightforward and simple. So once you have this, now we're going to add a shadow to the cans, that's under the can. We head over to the elements and search for shadow. The shadow we're adding is just to give it some type of texture. It's not compulsory or so, but it's going to make it look better. So we add shadow. I'm looking for something that is going to, I think this might be too much. Okay, let's see how it goes. So I add the shadow and send it to the back. I don't want to send it to the back, that's to back. It's going to move up under this shape. So I'll send it backwards. So it stays in between the can and the shape. So it's still visible. The same process, I click Ctrl C to copy it. I paste it here. I send it backwards. The same for the sprites. Send it backwards. So we have the same. So the design is staying consistent. So we have this, and this. The same size. The reason I'm copying and pasting is so I can get the same size of I want the shadow to be the same size. I want the shape to be the same size. So once you're animating it, everything will be going smoothly. So since we are done with the three layouts, the layout is ready to go. Although I think the cans are like a little bit taller because I want to add it right up to the back. So the can should be like of this size, something like this. Should be like this size. Yeah, something like this. I think it's a little bit too tall. So if you are doing it, if you are practicing it, make sure to make the can to be a little bit if I'm as I'm doing it right now, I know I can measure the size. Are you seeing this width? If I'm dragging it, you are seeing the width and the height beside it, the numbers. Are you seeing the numbers? Can you guys see the numbers? Yes, so you can use that number to measure if they are the same size. Do you understand? So you can still measure the size by watching those numbers. So if you are reducing it and increasing it, you see the size. This is 300, 790. So you got for the second one also, you do the same thing. 300, 790. 300, 790. So that's, you just get the, if you don't want to start afresh, that's if you know, you measure the perfect size when you're starting when you're starting, like placing the three cans and then grouping them, expanding them, and duplicating the page just like we did when we are starting. So that's the best way to do it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, since we have the three pages, we have the colors and everything, we have to start adding the write-ups. Once you start adding the write-ups, the design is going to come to life. So I'm going to add, click on text, add a heading, and I'll type Coca-Cola, just like this, Coca-Cola. Increase the fonts. Let's say the font, let's say 160. And remember, consistency. So you're going to use this same 160 for all of them, all the write-ups, the Coke and the Fanta sprites. 160, that's what you're using. Also, the font type, you can change the font type also. You make the font something that looks a little bit stylish, bold and stylish, so that design is going to look perfect. So I'm looking for, okay, I think let's use horizon for this design. You know, we don't have much time, so let's not spend much time looking for fonts. But as you can see the can, you see this, the font they used on the can, you can look for something like this signature or handwriting fonts or something like that. Now I've added the Coca-Cola. I'm going to change the color of the text to white. Change it to white. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send it backward. I want it to move to the back of the can itself. And then I'll go ahead to add effects. Now on the effects, I'll add outline. That's outline. Outline means you have something behind it. Outline. The outline is on 50, but the color of the outline is gray. I don't want gray, so I'll change the color of the outline to maybe red, dark red, or black. Black is going to work perfectly. So now I've added the outline, black outline. Let me increase this to 60. Now the thickness of the outline to 60, so it's going to display perfect. Now, once I'm done adding this Coca-Cola, I'll copy the text, Control C, go to Fanta, Control V, I paste it, send it backwards, the same thing, and then I type Fanta, Fanta orange. Let's just do Fanta orange. Position backwards. So Fanta orange. So we have Fanta orange. I think Fanta orange is too long. It's too long, right? I think we should do Fanta since we have Coca-Cola. Let's just do Fanta. For the third one, I paste it again. Sprites. Position backwards. So the sprite is at the back of the sprite scan. Likewise, the Fanta, also the Coca-Cola. Okay, let's just change this one to Coke. So that's, now we have Coke, Fanta, and Sprites. Now I'm going to add more write-up over here just to explain the flavor. So let's just go to Google and search what's, okay, let's search for about Coke flavor. So once you search about Coke flavor, copy this. You just copy the write-up. I just want to add a small write-up. So the Coke flavor, we add a text. We paste the write-up we copied. Now we reduce the size of the text, reduce it very, very well. Change the alignment and place it beside, like place it like this. Just place it to the side. Very simple and straightforward. Now this font, to maintain consistency, we change the font to 18. Now, any text we are adding here to the Fanta also is going to be that same 18. So change this. Let's search for Fanta flavor, about Fanta flavor. Let's copy this. We copy the highlighted, the highlighted one about Fanta flavor. So since we used 18 for the other one or the other page, we use 18 for this one also. Just break it down. You can copy more if you want to make it look identical. You can copy more text to add to it. Now you change the text color to white. Change the text color to white. You can also decide to add, what's it called? Shadow, that's effects, outline for this one also. I think outline is going to work because, okay. So you can add a little bit outline to this one. Let's say 10 or 5. Let's do 5. 5, so that it's going to show very, very well. So add this one, effects, outline, 5. Okay. Now for the sprite also, the right up, let's go ahead to Google and search for about sprites flavor. Sprites, okay, caffeine free, blah 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 blah. So copy, let's just copy this. We'll head over to Canva, paste it, change the size to the same 18. We break it down a little bit, then change the alignment. Remember, consistency matters. Anything you're doing to the other page, you're also doing to this page. So once you're done with that, change the text color to white. Change it to white, add the effects, outline, 5. So once anything you're doing to the other page, you're doing to this page. Now, I noticed that this side of the design is a little bit lighter because of the gradient. So you can decide to place it to the left-hand side, which is the darker part. The darker part is better because it's white text. But if you're adding it to this side, you use black text. Because black text goes well with lighter colors. White text goes well with darker colors. Hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So if you're placing this here, you use white. If you're placing it here, you use black. Because white is not going to be visible this side because of the gradient color. You know, gradient color fades from darker to lighter. Hope you understand. Now you can decide to add 2 write-ups, left and right, like this. So let's go with that. I'll just duplicate it. Now, if you're doing this for someone or if you're doing it for a job, you add 2 different write-ups. Maybe let's say this one is about the flavor. This one is about the nutritional benefits. So nutritional benefits for this side, about the flavor for this side. So you can do that with all of them. So for this part, the darker part, black, in this side, white. Same goes for sprite also. This side also, black. So you have 2 write-ups. Remember, about the flavor, nutritional benefits. I'm not going to be, we didn't start the class on time, so I'm not going to be going to Google to go and search for write-ups. But you get the point. So you use 2 write-ups. This second page, same thing, 2 write-ups. And the third page also 2 write-ups. Now, the next thing we are going to do for this design is we are going to add elements to the background, that's to these places. So for Coca-Cola, we search for something like, let's say Coke, ice, let's say Coke eyes or something like that. Coke eyes looks something like this. You see how the eyes looks inside the Coke. But I'm looking for an element that shows only the eyes, not the cup. So I'll look for eyes that is standing alone, that doesn't have I know it's going to be difficult, but if I go to Google, I'm going to see it. So let me just try and go to Google. Hope you guys understand what I'm trying to find. Like looking at this glass cup, you are seeing the eyes inside the glass cup. Only the eyes. Yeah, so I'm looking for something that um I'm trying to get an element. But let's do for Sprite. I know Sprite is going to be easy. So Sprite has to do with lime, lemon and lime. So you guys understand what I'm explaining better. Lemon. So since Sprite deals with lemon, all you have to do is you add some lemon to the design. Now look at if you're using an image that is red. You know this one is red, this one is illustration, this one is like vector. Why this one is a real picture? So if you're using this one, you maintain this one. If you're using this one, you maintain this one. But let me just use this one. So I'm using a ray picture. So I place the first one by the left, duplicate it, place it also to this side. So I'm using these two for sprites. And then once I add the image, I look for something else. I can decide to look for leaf, lemon leaf, or any leaf. I'm looking for something that looks a little bit realistic. So the reason I'm adding the leaves is just to make the page a little bit busy. Okay, let me just go ahead and search for leaf. Remember, we're maintaining ray leaves, so we are going to look for something that is ray, a little bit that looks ray. Let me just go ahead and use this. Okay, I'm seeing something right now. So what we're going to do with the leaf, we're going to add the leaf. Just add the leaf to just so we just add the leaf to. You can decide to add the leaf anywhere though, but just to get the concept of what I'm doing, just place some elements. You can decide to duplicate the leaves, different sizes, just to keep the page busy. The only thing you need to know is you don't need to um, add too much details to it, depending on what you're working on. But basically, this is what I want the page to look like. So we have the lemon, and then we have the leaves. So I think for this page, we are good to go. It looks okay like this. The Fanta has to do with orange. So we go ahead to search for orange. Orange. So since we are maintaining real images, you have to look for something that is real also, like I said. Now I'm going to add this orange to the Fanta. This side duplicates this side. And you know, graphic design, it has to deal with your ideas and imagination. So this class is just to teach you how it works. You can do anything you want, anyhow you want. I'm not looking at any design while doing this. I'm just doing it from my just doing a freestyle. So if you want to create anything that looks like this, you can make research on different platforms. You can go to Pinterest and see how different adverts looks, and then you get inspiration from them, and then you can do whatever you want. But for this class, I'm just doing it so that you understand how it works. Also, for the Fanta, you look for a leaf also for Fanta because oranges have leaves also. Maintaining what we are doing, we are going to look for a leaf that looks real also. Like I said, you have to maintain the concept you're using. And also, like I said, don't overdo it. You can decide to resize some to be bigger, do some to be smaller. Just keep the page busy. But if you research on designs, you see you have a little bit of idea of how to go about some concepts. So we have Fanta and Sprite. Now back to the battle. You know, you have issues with Coke because we're looking for ice cubes. Okay, so let's go ahead to elements and search for ice cubes. Hopefully we get something that looks, I think we're going to use, let's go with, I'm looking for a dark ice cube. Okay, let me see if I can color this to be dark. Okay, this worked perfectly. Let me look for chocolate color. I'll change the color to something darker, that's chocolates. Yes, 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 works perfectly. So since I have seen chocolate color, I change the eyes to chocolates. Change the eyes to chocolates. I don't know why it's not duplicating though. Let me add it again. Change the color also to chocolates, just to darken the color. So it looks as if it's eyes from inside the glass. And then cola has to do with do any of you know what cola is? You guys know what cola is? What's cola? No, 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 I'm not talking about I'm talking about the cola itself. You don't use cola for cola flavor to make Coca-Cola now. You use coffee to make coffee drinks. So I want to know if cola is um so I'll head over to Google and search for
It's made out of cocoa.
cocoa. Are you sure? I
Like
don't think
that
it's the,
bean that they used to make coffee, something like that.
but Coca-Cola doesn't taste like coffee. You should okay, okay. Unless there's a way they used to, I think, anyway, I know there's cola plant, but I don't know if it's the same cola they use for Coca-Cola. You know, they refuse to display to show their formula for the drinks, unlike other drinks. Let's just assume, I don't think it's cocoa though. Anyway,
All right.
let's continue. Let me search for cola first. Let's see what we have. And if you search for cola, they'll just show you the Coke itself. But let me search for cola plants. Let me know if I see cola plants. I don't think there is. Okay, let's assume Coca-Cola is made of coffee. That's cocoa. I don't know if it's made of cocoa though. So let's assume it's made of cocoa. So search for the plants. I don't know if you can see the. Let's look for something though. Since we are using a real image to maintain consistency, let's just okay. Let's just manage this one. Let's not use this one. Now I'm going to rotate this, so I don't want to show those seeds because I'm not sure if it's the plants that they're used for. So I'll just rotate this so that it hides that plants. Okay. But you guys get the idea of what I'm looking for, sure. So since we have ice cubes and all this, for the Fanta, we have oranges and the leaves. For the Sprite, we have lemon and the leaves. So just basically how it's done. Remember, the semicircle added here, we've dragged it down so that you can place the can Coke and place the shadow under it. The same goes for the Fanta, the same goes for the Sprites. Now, remember we copied this by using Ctrl+C and then pasting it so that we maintain the shape, the size and the shape so that we don't stress ourselves while placing it. Same goes for the shadows. So at this point, I think we are done with let's just manage the look. Let's just manage the look. Well, you guys understand what I'm saying. So for the write-ups, like I said, this side you can add write-ups about the flavor, while this side you can add the nutritional benefits. That's if it has any nutritional benefits, that's what you add this side. You can browse those things if you're working for someone, then you can browse for these two. So Fanta, Coke, and Sprites. Now, the last part of this design has to do with animation. That's how to make the page move. Because if the page doesn't move, you cannot use it for an advert because it's going to be static. So if you animate it, you can use it for an advert. So do you guys do you guys understand the concept of animation? If you have questions so far on this design, just ask so that I will explain again and then we'll move to the animation part. So if you have question, indicate so that we can sort it out before we continue. Any question?
Yes.
What's the question?
I'm sorry. Can someone that doesn't have laptop do the design?
Yes. It's the same thing on your phone. Everything I'm explaining is the same thing. The only difference is that, for example, if I click on this menu now, is going to show on the down part of your phone, not at the top. Do you understand? So you have to slide. It's going to show from this place to maybe this place, and then you have to slide to see other options. So anything you are doing, just look at the down parts of your phone. Most of the options are going to be at the down parts, but it's the same thing for your mobile phone also. Any other question? Any other question? Okay. So Canva, for animations, we are not going to stress ourselves because Canva is a little bit easy for animations. Unless you want to animate the text one by one. Let me show you what I mean by that. If I click on this text and I click animate, this animates, I can decide to add any type of animation to the text. We have typewriter, we have ascend, shift, block, merge. So you can decide to add animations to each element one after the other. You click on each element, you animate it. You click on each element, you animate it. But that's not the main thing I'm trying to show you guys on this design. You can animate everything on this design, including the can. You can decide to make the can to appear from the down parts to the up parts. For example, if I add rise, this rise animation, you guys have seen it, right? I can decide to reduce the speed of the animation so that it moves from down to up, just like that. And then while it's moving from down to up, I can decide to make this one to move from up to down, like this. Are you seeing it? So same goes to any other elements. I can decide to move it around, make it move. But that's not what I want to show you. So when you're doing one, just take your time to animate everything you want to animate, one after the other. But the most important thing I want to show you is the transitions. So for the transitions, you see this page 1, page 2, and page 3. This is page 3, this is page 2, this is page 1. In between the pages, once you go to in between the pages like this, you see this add transition. This is the most important thing you need, add transition. Once you click on the add transition, hope you guys have seen the cursor. Are you seeing the cursor? Okay. Once you click add transition, now transition is different from animation. Transition is going to make the pages to flow like a video. So we have none, is on none by default. So there's no transition right now. We have dissolve. This is dissolve. This is how it works. Dissolves to the second page. We have slide. It slides to the second page. We have swipe. We have color swipe. We have line swipe. We have stack. Stack displayed as if it's a card. Then we have chop. So depending on what you are doing, but the most important ones I use for my work is match and move and flow. These two. Flow is perfect. Match and move also is perfect. But for this particular type of design, you use flow because it shifts the elements from one page to another. Now, once I click on flow, what I'm going to do is I will increase the size, the duration. That I want it to take some time before. I don't want it to be fast. For example, if I reduce the size to 0.3 seconds, look at what happens. It goes very, very fast. I don't want it to go fast. I want someone to be able to read the write-ups before it goes to the second page. So let's assume I can read this write-up within, let's say, 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds, let's assume. So I'll add 2.5 seconds. So it takes time to move. Now, I'm going to select the direction I want it to move. If I want it to move to the right side, it moves to the right side. If I want it to move to the left side, it moves to the left side. If I want it to move up, it moves up. It's as simple as that. If I want it to move down, it moves down. Hope you guys have seen it. But I want to use the left side. So I'll click on the left side and then I scroll down further and I'll click apply between all pages. So I want it to happen in all the pages. So when I present, let me go ahead and click present. It looks like this. And then it goes to the next page. And then it goes to the next page. It's as simple as that. Now, if you want to, the only thing remaining for this design is voiceover. Let's assume you are doing an advert for someone. Voiceovers on Canva is straightforward also. On this menu, you scroll down a little bit. Voiceovers normally appear at these down parts. The voiceovers means that you can add text to speech. Text to speech means once you type something, the AI is going to speak the write-up that is going to say the things you wrote. So let's assume you want to say introducing Coca-Cola, blah blah blah. Then once it says it, you add it to this place for this page. You add the second part for Fanta. You add the third part for Fanta. So the AI is going to talk about the features of Fanta and so on and so forth. Then you export as a video. So it's as simple as that. So let me go ahead and present again. We have Coke. We are using 2.5 seconds duration. So it's as simple as that. Now, if you want it to look a little bit, let me just say dramatic. Since we have Coke here and Fanta is the next page, you can decide to copy this Fanta can and paste it on this page. What you do is place it at this side. People normally do it depending on type of work you're doing. You place it on this side, you bring the right tops close, a little bit close. You place the Fanta here, it's going to be smaller. Now, what you're doing is you're making someone know that the next page is Fanta. You understand? You're making someone know that the next page is Fanta. The same goes for the Fanta page. If you go to the Fanta page, you copy the Sprite page, the Sprite can, you paste it on the side of the Fanta page, bring this right up close. So someone will know that the third page is for sprites. Like this, let me reduce it a little bit. So we have this Fanta, then sprites, then Coke. Hope you understand. Now, if I present again, so someone knows that the next page is for the other drink. So some people normally do it like that. If you want the scrolling to be infinite, you duplicate the page again. That's add the Coke to the back again. And then for these sprites, you paste the Coke on the sprite page. Just like this, you can do the same thing on them. So what it means is that it's going to scroll from Coke to Fanta, Fanta to Sprites, Sprites to Coke, Coke to Fanta, just like that. You just duplicate the pages. That's if you want it to be infinite. But like I said from the onset, the adverts normally take like 10 seconds, 15 seconds or less, because they know that people normally scroll on the adverts, so they make the adverts to be short, to be as short as possible, so that they can watch it and then they can click on the link or something like that. So this is for match and move effects. But if you want to use, you can decide to use. Okay, this is for flow effects. You can decide to use match and move effect also. Match and move effect works perfectly for this thing I just did now, because I added these scans. You see these scans I added at the back. It's not proper for flow, because flow is going to make it struggle. But for match and move, it's perfect. So now for match and move, if I present again, look at how it works. The Fanta comes to the center. Hope you guys are seeing it. The Fanta I placed at the extreme comes to the center. Now, if I click, if it's presenting again, the sprite also comes to the center. Okay. Now the sprites, like I did this one now, but I haven't changed it to this one. So I'll click on this transition again. Once I add the match, I scroll down and I apply between all pages, so that the last page is also going to have that. So presenting again, I'll have Coke. Now the Fanta is going to come to the center. Now after the Fanta, the sprites from the extreme is going to come to the center. Hope you guys have seen it. So that's how you do motion graphics on Canva. It's straightforward. All you have to do is source out your elements. Very, very important. Source out the elements, and then once you place the write-offs, everything is going to look perfect. Now, if this was to be someone's work, it's not going to be this. I'm not going to do it like this. I'm not going to make it look like this. I'm going to make it look a little bit. It's going to have texture. What I mean by texture is this background is not going to be plain. I'll add something to the background. This shape here is not going to be plain. I'll add something to the background of the shape also. And if you add, the more things you add to the design, the better. For example, if I decide to add, let's say, abstracts. Let me search for abstracts. So if I search for abstracts, my network is still slow. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. So if I search for abstracts under graphics, you have a lot of things you can add to the background to make it a little bit busy. So you can decide on anything you add on the background. Depending on what you're working on though. But like I said, researching, okay, let me just go to Pinterest and show you something. So you guys can understand what I mean by researching on design before you start. Any work you're doing, you have to research on it before you start. So if I search for Coca-Cola design, let's say Coca-Cola poster, you're going to see different posters, different Coca-Cola posters. Exactly. So from these posters, you can get clues on what to add on your background. As you can see, this one will have those eyes. You see those eyes? You can decide to do this design with just this method, like design this, like add the can, add the price, add the write-up, the company logo at the top, and then do that same thing for page 2. If we do the same design like this, it's going to come out very, very well because it's only this can that is going to be shifting. So let's say Coke is $10. You swipe to Fanta $15. Swipe to Sprite is $10. Just like that. Same goes for this one. So once you research on the company you're working with or the design you're making, you're going to have an idea of what you should do. That's exactly what you have to do before going to design anything. So depending on you research on the company, you know what they normally use, the type of designs they use. You maintain their brand color. Very, very important. Maintain their brand color. So maintain their brand color. Like I said, the sprites, the green color, the light green. I cannot come here and just put red. You cannot do that. So you have to maintain the brand color. Now, this design is perfect. If I export the design as a video, it's perfect for someone. If this is someone's business, it's perfect. Extremely perfect. But if I was to design this for someone, if someone pays me to design this, the only thing I'm going to do differently is sourcing out for elements. This ice cube, you know, this eyes is three eyes. I would prefer using single eyes, like getting eyes that is standing alone, that doesn't have other eyes, something like this. Then I will duplicate it and place it on different places that I want. I wouldn't want to use clustered eyes like this. That's the only difference. So if I'm doing it, I will just go to Google. I'll come down and source out for materials that I need. The only thing I sourced out for was the can itself. So So match and move is perfect for this type of design. Match and move is perfect. So it transits from different colors, and the can on the extreme moves to the center. So that's perfect. So any questions? If you have questions, let me know so that I'll tackle it before ending the class.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, what's the question?
The kind of the sprite is like covering the
I can't hear you properly. What did you say? Can you guys hear her? Eunice, we can't hear you.
sorry, I said that the can of the sprite and Fanta they are kind of big. So like this sprite now, it's like kind of sharing the letter R. Like they are not kind of split. Like, I don't
The
know.
kind of
It's
this
like
the kind of the sprite did what?
it's covering the letter R. Actually,
I'm not hearing what you're saying. Can you guys hear? If you can hear what she said, please comment the question on the chat, please. If you heard what she said, please comment it on the chat. I didn't get your question though. Or you can type the question. Type the question on the chat, please. Any other question? You need to go ahead to type the question on the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, she said the can is covering the sprites. Yes, I did it on purpose. Placing this sprite on top of the can like this is not creative. Although you can do it though, but if someone sees it like this, it's on purpose. It's not hiding the spelling. The person already knows the spelling. You just place it at the back of the can just for aesthetics. Same goes with the Fanta. But that doesn't mean you can place it on top like this. You can do it, but if someone sees this like this, the person knows you know what you're doing, and the person can read it perfectly. This is sprites. But the only thing that's wrong in this design is the font, because the font is not showing any creativity. It's just straight horizon font, and then this one is Canvas Sans. But once you research on nice fonts to use, if you scroll down and use crazy fonts, the design is going to turn out very, very well. So like I said, if you are doing your own design, take your time to source out for things you want or things you like. Everybody has a different ideology. So you go ahead to source out for what you want. So once you source out for your fonts, your elements, pictures you want, your design can be the only difference between person A and person B's design is the level of creativity. So what might be good for me might not be good for you. So like I said, the placing the right up behind like this is on purpose. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. So any other question? Any other question? Coca-Cola. Let me try the long write-ups. Let me see how it looks. Control. Sprites. What should I call it? Sprite lemon. Like I say, it looks too long. Huh? But like if I reduce the font to like 100, my workouts. Okay, so do you guys have any other question, please? So we know the class is recording. So if you want to visit the class later, if you want to watch the video later, you can visit our our YouTube page to watch. I am going to drop the link to the video also. So if you want to watch the video later, if you have questions while doing your own, you can visit the video, or you can just ask a question on the class on the WhatsApp group. Any other question? Any other question? Remember, I told you guys this shape, I added it because my network was lagging, so I don't want to spend much time looking for something to add there. But you don't have to add a semicircle there. You can add something that has texture. That circle, that semicircle there is not doing justice to the design. So you can add something else. As you can see, my network is not loading the elements. You can look for something else to add that looks a little bit better than just plain circle. Like something like this, exactly. You can add something like this. No, this is different from just the circle. This one has shades of, did I call it shade of this thing. So you look for something that is better than that semicircle. Or you can just add the semicircle. You see, we have different types of elements you can use. You can decide to combine some two elements. That means if I'm adding this on top of this, I can decide to do it. I can decide to add two elements. You see, if I add this to the design, it looks different. So I can decide to add something else to the shape and then send it to the back. That's back of the can. So if I send it to back of the can, then I customize the colors also to that green. Just to what I'm saying it is, if you want to give it some kind of texture, or do you understand what I'm saying? You can decide to give you some type of texture. You can experiment on other shapes. You add other shapes. Then you go ahead to place it. You see, it looks different right now. So you can do that while designing your own. You can do it if you want. I just added the plain circle just to fasten the class. So any other question before I end the class? If you don't have question, that means everyone understood what we did now. Most of you used to attend our. Okay, Chidera, go ahead and ask your question. Most of you used to attend our classes, so I think maybe that's why you don't have questions. Chidera, what is the question? What's the question? Chidera, if you are using different fonts, like I said, in designing, you need consistency. That doesn't mean you cannot use different fonts though. But if you use different fonts for different pages, that would work though. But if it transits from one page to the next page, depending, it might look good, it might look bad. So if you are doing it, you know yourself if it looks good, you know. If it doesn't look good, you know. Flavors have some style, like some flavors have different styles. Like for example, are you seeing the font this Coca-Cola has? Is different from the font this Fanta has. Also different from the font this Sprite has. So you can still go with the flow, change the fonts to something similar to what they normally use. That means you can change the fonts. The fonts can be different from others. So you can use different fonts for different pages. So for the question you asked, you can use different fonts here. You can try it out. So guys, that's it for today's class. We'll fix another class so that if you're interested, you can attend. But mind you, if we have low number of students attending the classes, then we might stop having the classes. But I'm just doing the classes just to keep you guys updated. So if we don't have turnouts, if people don't attend the classes, we might stop doing it. So if you want the class to continue, you have to attend the classes to encourage the idea. So I'll see you guys in the next class, hopefully. And thank you very much for attending the class. If you enjoyed the class, give a thumbs up before leaving the class. Yeah, thank you, Chidera. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.